Hello everyone, today I will be sharing my tips on varnishing. Varnishing can be tricky and costly if you make mistakes. So let's start with the varnish that I use. I have tried many varnishes, but the one I really like and find that it's very easy to apply is Gum Varnish by Gamblin. This is the brush I use. The requirements of the varnishing brush is to be large enough for the size of the painting and also to be narrow, not too wide, so it doesn't carry too much varnish. You will need a jar. Please check in advance that it's easy to get in and out. So, couple requirements. First, when you varnish, your painting has to be absolutely flat. What I like to do is lift up the painting from the surface, so if there is any dust or hair, my brush won't bring it on the surface. The next requirement, of course, for the painting to be dry. The question that comes often is how long does the painting needs to be dry to be varnished? Ideally, a year, but sometimes you don't have a luxury of time. The painting is sold. I have been varnishing my paintings when they dry to the touch. What varnish doesn't like is humidity. Don't varnish your painting on a rainy, humid day. So once your painting is laid flat on a clean surface, what you want to do is clean it with the brush. You can inspect it for little hairs or lint attached to it and pick it up in advance. After the painting has been cleaned, I have a little secret recipe to solve the problem that often comes up with varnishing. It's called rejection spots. Sometimes the surface of the painting has fat or fingerprints or something that causes the varnish to be rejected. And instead of laying nice and flat, it creates a little lake in the middle where the varnish doesn't adhere and pushes it away. It's very hard to cure the problem once it happened, but the easy solution is to put a layer of saliva on a painting and let it dry. Saliva has enzymes that neutralize the surface and prevent the varnish from pulling apart. Saliva is often used in a restoration for cleaning very vulnerable surfaces.
Enzymes in our saliva really break down proteins incredibly well. The enzymes help break down that surface dirt. It's also readily available, so that's very handy. Bob's leftover from yesterday, and you can see incredibly dirty.
So even though it might be a little bit disgusting, but it really does work. The main thing is that you want to bring as little of the varnish as possible. And I squeeze the varnish that is extra. And I want to put a thin layer on my painting. I usually like to go in one direction. Why do I need to varnish it at all? One purpose of varnishing is even out the surface of the oil painting that often dries up unevenly, with some spots being too shiny and some looking very matte and sunk. Another is unifying the surface and bringing out a dark value colors to more vibrancy and more life. And you can see how that painting just changed by putting the varnish. The contrast of light and dark became more, and the colors are more vibrant, and demonstrate that on this dark jacket it will be seen better. As I put, you can see the difference of this dark to this. Now it evened out. It really brought up the texture and details of this painting. With this varnish, you can easily go in more than one direction, but I'd like to go first in one direction and then in another. If the painting has a sides, make sure that varnish didn't just leak and left the spot. Always pass through the sides. Once the painting has been varnished, take it to the light and let the light shine on the painting and check for the spots that you might have missed. The last step on this process is to put the painting in a safe environment to dry. So I place my paintings in the box, close the cover. So now all the dust can fall on the top of the box and not on my painting. Hope those tips will be helpful, and thank you so much for watching.